Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Lil ajalin qistun minas saman. Okay. Lil ajalin apa? Deferment. Baik bitaman ajil. Ajil tu. Lil ajalin. Deferment. Kalau baik bitaman ajil tu apa? Buy and sell contract with a deferment. Deferment. Baik bitaman deferment price. So lil ajalin is defer. Lil for the deferment, keystone constitute ataupun part minas saman, constitute a part of the price. Okay. So ajal from the word ajila ya'jilu, to waive or to delay. Delay lah, postponement. So in the Islamic banking, we call bil ajal means on credit. On credit tu maksudnya hutang lah kan. Maksudnya jual beli tu tak dia punya price tu is not settled on the spot. It's settled in future. It's delay in the price, in the settlement. Okay. Keystone from the word qasata yuqasitu, to distribute something, to pay in installment. Keystone or to share or portions, quantity or installment. Okay. Keystone tu macam portions lah. Okay. So saman is a cost of price or value. Okay. So deferment constitute a part, a quantity, a portions of the price, the value of the price. Okay. So this one issues, these maxims related to the issues with the concept of time value of money. Okay. What is time value of money? What is time value of money?
The value of money now and later.
Because of time. Kalau tak ada masa tu tak ada masalah lah. Because of times, the value of money now will be different with the money, the value of money in the future, or value of money maksudnya 10 years ago, because of time. Why? Because of we have inflations, because we have many factors that affect the value of money because of time. Okay, so in 1980s, during my time in 1980s, nasi lemak, the price of nasi lemak is only 20 cents. Paling mahal pun 50 cents. 20 cents. Ada juga negeri yang jual 10 cents of nasi lemak. 10 cents of nasi lemak in 1980s. But in 2020s, 20 cents. What's the value of nasi lemak? RM1.50. RM1 pun adalah nasi lemak RM1. Kan? RM1. Tapi dia punya the quantity of nasi lemak is very very small. Kan? So because of times, the value of money, previously 20 cents we can get nasi lemak, but nowadays we can't get nasi lemak with 20 cents. Maksudnya value of money tu dah macam dah berkurang dah. Nak kena put more money to buy one nasi lemak. So because of time changes. So that is why the deferments tu, maksudnya the delay is counted part of the price. Because of the delay tu, it can be measured. It can be measured and put on the price. Kan? That is why kalau customer they are given 100,000 and they pay installment in deferred postponement for 10 years. So for 10 years tu macam mana nak measure the 10 years tu? But the measurement of 10 years is allowed because of time value of money, because of the deferment. Okay. So that is why the bank, when they give the customer 100K, so they can put portions of profit plus 5% profit for 10 years of tenor of financings. So because of the value of money lah is different because of the delay. So that's the delay, the value of delay can be put is a part of the price juga. Okay, is a part of price. So 100K is the principle of the money lended to the customer, but maybe 5% is considered the value of delay tu. Kalau tidak bank rugi lah sebab they already give the customer 100K now, only receive 10 years later. So that 10 years later is considered a part of the price that the customer should pay. Okay, do you get me? You get me?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
But but now the issue is how the banks measure the value of the deferment tu, postponement tu. Okay, so what the conventional do is they measure it over excessive measure, so it becomes a riba. It becomes a riba. Okay, if it is not too excessive, so it's fair lah to the bank and to the customer. The customer receive a cash now, but only I need to pay in future, pay gradually, sikit-sikit installment. Okay, but it's too excessive, is not equal counter value what the banks lend to them. What's the postponement period? So it's considered is as a riba. Because riba, we have two types of riba, kan? Riba al-fad and riba an-nasi'ah. Riba in jual beli. Riba in jual beli is not riba in jual beli means that not equal counter value je jual beli. We buy a pen with RM1, we sell them with RM100. It's too excessive because the meaning of riba is itself is excessive. Okay, so and then okay, we buy RM1, we sell RM100. It's too excessive. It is not equal with the effort and then with the risk that we put on the pen in order to determine the price of the pen. It's considered is riba in jual beli, riba in buy and sell, or like customer pay RM10 for 8 oranges. Orange, nak beli orange kan, but half of the orange, 4 oranges already apa nama dia, rosak, damage. Maksudnya tak boleh guna, cannot be eat. Okay, so only 3 left. So it's also a part of riba, riba al-fad, riba jual beli. So RM10 is must be RM10 if 8 oranges, that 8 oranges must be in a good conditions. So it is fair. Okay. And second types of riba is riba an-nasi'ah. Riba an-nasi'ah is riba in financings. Riba dalam hutang. So one party take advantage over the other party that they are in need, and they are given too excessive increase in the principal of the money that lended to the other party that are in need. Okay, and because of the delay, the deferment, delay in the payment, so it's considered riba an-nasi'ah. Okay, riba dalam hutang. Okay, okay, sebab hutang ni memang dia akan delay lah. Disebabkan delay, okay, you bayar lebih. Kalau delay 5 days, additional 10 days, 10 ringgit. Delay lagi, additional, tambah lagi. Okay. The more you delay the postponement, kalau macam kita home financing, biasanya 20 years home financing, dia punya period of financing. Kalau apa nama dia, we want to have a less than 20 years period of financing, the payment will be lesser. So lagi sikit lagi banyak deferment period of financing, lagi banyak kita kena bayar. So it's riba actually. If too excessive lah. Okay. Okay, nanti we'll discuss in detail in the example later. Okay, and according to Al-Kasani, Al-Kasani is not periwayat hadis. I believe like Al-Kasani is Islamic scholars lah. Okay, Muslim scholars. There is no equality between spot and deferred payment because cash is better than debt, and the immediate has a higher value than the deferred. Immediate here is a cash. Okay. Kalau kita bayar cash, lagi value dia lagi tinggi lah. Then kita bayar deferred. Sebab value in deferred tu dah macam ada inflation, banyak economic factors, so dia punya value tu lagi lesser than the spot namanya payment. Okay, no equality between spot and deferred. Memanglah kan, kalau bayar sekarang, let's say quotes payment, kalau we pay on the spot, the price of the furnitures will be lesser. Kalau kita deferred, the price will be higher. Sebab kita bayar in future, deferred, kan? Okay, in surah Al-Baqarah, in surah Al-Baqarah, verse 185 ya. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allazina ya'kuluna riba la yaqumuna illa kama yaqumul ladzi yatakhabbathu syaitanu minal mas. Dzalika bi annahum qalu innamal bay'u mithlur riba wa ahallallahu al-bay'a wa harrama riba. Those who consume interest cannot stand on the day of resurrections, except as one stand who is being beaten by shaitan into insanity. It is because they say trade is just like interest. Okay, but Allah has permitted trade and has forbidden the interest. Maksudnya dia samakan, dia trading, dia practice lah. Maksudnya dia practice business dengan riba, tak ada masalah. Dia do business, dia samakan je. Maksudnya dia buat business, ada penipuan dalam business, they are not equal in exchange, counter value tu. So macam mana kita nak tahu how we want to determine whether our trading, our business does not commit with riba? Basically, the term of iwat. Okay, have you heard about iwat? Iwat tu apa? Iwat tu apa?
Late payment charges madam.
Late payment charges tu we call gharama. Takwid dengan gharama. Takwid tu is a lesson lah. Ganti rugi. Gharama is penalty. Iwat is equal counter value dalam trading. Equal counter value maksudnya, kalau we want to charge, kalau okay, you buat cookies for example, you nak jual you punya cookies, what the resources that you put to prepare ataupun to make a cookies, effort, you time kan, you prepare satu hari nak buat cookies tu, punya effort, berpeluh-peluh nak buat cookies. Lagi satu, you use money, capital, nak beli all the ingredients semua tu. Okay, so based on that factor, you calculate what's the total cost. That is total cost lah sebenarnya. Okay, takwid is sebenarnya total cost must be equal to the price that offered to that third party. Okay, so now you dah nak buat cookies, maksudnya you dah kira dah, okay, maksudnya labor cost per hour you nak charge maybe RM5. So you have spent about 10 hours to prepare, so RM50. 10 hours lah to prepare macam case lah kan, satu stok ni. Okay, so dah prepare RM50. You kena kira tu sebenarnya labor cost tu, labor cost. Kalau you ada pekerja pun you have to add the labor cost. Okay, you put a labor cost and then effort semua dah ada labor cost. Lepas tu you punya ingredient you nak beli, maybe ingredients dia RM100. So total cost semua termasuk sekali RM150. Okay, RM150 total cost, dapat berapa balang? Dapat 10 balang. Maksudnya cost setiap balang tu is RM15 lah, 15 kan? Sebab divide by 10 kan? So satu balang RM15. So now what the price that you want to offer to the public? You cannot offer RM15. Maksudnya tak ada untung lah kan? So you could offer something that is, maybe you nak dapat profit. You nak dapat profit sikit. Dapat profit RM5 satu balang. So offer price RM20 satu balang of one jar of the cookies. So okay lah maksudnya. It cannot be like, okay, you punya cost RM15, double up. Plus RM15 profit, you double up. So you sell your cookies with RM30. And it's too excessive lah. Maksudnya it's not fair enough. So dia punya profit tu just enough for you, just fair. Tak boleh too excessive of profit on the goods. Okay. Another thing is you have to think from the customer perspective. Okay, whether the price that you put will give back effect to the customer or not. Okay, to the entire society. You put RM30, then orang lain akan put RM30. So it reflect the whole market of cookies akan increase. So tak boleh lah macam tu. Dia akan give a bad impact to the economy. So that's happened for I think the monopoly system. The monopoly system. If only one one company monopolize the market, they put any price that they want to get the maximum profit. That's I think the theory of the economies. Conventional economy, dia punya teori apa? Profit maximizations, kan? Whatever it is, profit maximization is the first aims of the economies, the conventional economies. Tak boleh macam tu. Okay, so in Islam, maqasid syariah will go first to safeguard the property, the mal, safeguard the family, safeguard nyawa. Okay, life, safeguard the religions. So maqasid syariah is number one, and after that baru boleh attain the profit. So that is why the profit, the price that we put on our product must be a good and fair enough to all parties, to us and also to the customer. If it is not fair, it's considered as riba in trading. So this is why Allah said in this verse, they say that innamal bay'u mithlu riba. Kita sama je. No different between trading and riba. Dia tak nampak pun sebenarnya. Okay, dia buat business, dia commit riba actually. Okay, but Allah bagi wa ahallallahu al-bay' wa harama riba. Allah tak nak kita buat ni. Allah haramkan the riba. But Allah suruh kita buat trading. But the element of riba ni is haram. Okay. Okay. Hadis. Ni hadis famous juga ni. Az-zahab biz-zahab wal-fiddatu bil-fidda wal-birru bir wal-sya'ir bil-sya'ir wal-tamru bil-tamr wal-milhu bil-milh. Masalun bimithlin yadan biyadin. Yadan biyadin tu, yadan kan tangan, yadun kan tangan, tangan dengan tangan on the spot. Faman zada au istizada faqad arba riba. Siapa tambahkan, zada tu tambah, siapa tambah atau tambah lagi eksesif, sebenarnya faqad, sesungguhnya itu adalah riba. Baca maksudnya Ubadah ibnu As-Samit said, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, gold for gold, silver for silver, wheat for wheat, barley for barley, dates for dates, and salt for salt. Like for like, sama. Like for like tu maksudnya hendaklah sama lah. Kalau kita nak tukar gold dengan gold, sama gold tu. Gold 916 kena gold 196. Tak boleh 915 ke, 555 ke, tak boleh. Silver for silver kena like for like. Equal for equal, sama. Kalau tak sama, value dia pun dah tak sama, riba tu. And hand to hand on the spot. Ni semua ni, barang-barang ni kau nak tukar kena on the spot. Kena hand, kena on the spot, kena sama. Sama. Like for like ni sama quality, sama jenis. Equal for equal, sama timbangan. If the commodities differ, then you may sell as you wish, provided that the exchange is hand to hand. Dia kata if the commodities differ, bila kalau kita nak change gold for silver, boleh. Tapi kalau kita nak gold for gold, it must be done sama, equal and hand to hand on the spot. But if you want to change gold for silver, boleh. Yang sama ni tak boleh, tapi nak tukar lain boleh, tapi provided that exchange is hand to hand. Maksudnya on the spot. Kalau kita nak jual emas dengan silver, kena on the spot. Why? Because if it is not done on the spot, tomorrow the price will be different. Okay, so it will attract a riba lah. Kan? Ni dah, sekejap ya. Ni dah lain dia punya maksud daripada ke atas ni. Iza ikhtalafa hazihil asnaf fabi'u kaifa syi'tum iza kana yadan biyadin. Ni kat bawah ni. Yang ke atas ni, faman zada au istizada ni, faman tu, makanya siapa yang menambah, who add or ditambahkannya juga. Maksudnya tambahlah, maksudnya fakat arba. Okay, makanya itu adalah dikira riba. Kalau tak sama, maksudnya disebabkan madam ni lecturer, madam you macam have to agree that I want to sell, I want to change, I want to exchange my gold with your gold, but you have to give me more gold. I give you less. Okay, and then different gold, apa nama dia, quality 916, you give me 999, which is a higher value kan. So it's considered as riba kalau kita tambah. Barang-barang ni lah, ni barang-barang ni. Barang-barang ni semua, there is barang harian. Gold for gold dengan silver ni is actually dia punya is medium of transactions, money. Money during profit times. Yang ni semua makanan ni. Makanan. So kalau kita nak exchange makanan, so kalau kita exchange with different, so it's unfair lah. And unfair to the other parties. Okay. Tapi kalau kita nak exchange with others, boleh nak exchange. Itu sebab barter trading ada. Barter trade kan, sistem barter tu ada. Tapi it must be done on the spot. Tak boleh nak tanggung. Okay. Okay, so delayed is allowed in the exchange contract. Under circumstances, both counter values are not from the same class of ribawi item. This one from the hadith lah. Okay, so from the same class of ribawi item. Okay, so Imam Shafi'i differentiated the ribawi items into medium of exchange and eatable. Kan nampak tadi dalam hadis, gold and silver is medium of exchange, money, and the rest is eatable, food. So that there must be mutual agreement for both contracting parties. Okay, when issued debt, make sure to write it down. So in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 282. So yang ni different lah from the hadis, but hadis yang macam ni je lah. Okay. Okay, apa nama dia? Okay, so in Surah Al-Baqarah verse 282, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu iza tadayantum bidainin ila ajal Iza tadayantum bidainin ila ajalim musamma faktubuh. Wahai orang beriman, when you do a contract of a debt for a stated term, put it down in writing. So that is why it is practiced in the industry nowadays. Mesti ada agreement, written agreement. Okay, so written agreement is necessary. Okay, based on this ayat. So dalam ayat ni juga, okay, Allah allow us to do a apa? Postpone, to do ni. Iza tadayantum bidainin ila ajalim ni maksudnya pada waktu postponement. If you want to do a debt contract, postpone contract. So in this ayat, it is allowed for us to do a postpone contract of debt. Okay, so the concept of time value of money, I think I have discussed time value of money tu. So tak tahu nanti baca yang ni. Tak apalah. This one, the opportunity cost of postponing current consumption brings more satisfactions than future consumptions. Thus, compensation should be made for utility foregone today. Okay, so the opportunity cost lah. Let's say if the bank give 100,000 to you now, so the banks already lose their opportunity cost. Lose lah. The opportunity cost for investment or for other customer. Okay, so they have right to be compensated. Okay, so opportunity cost of not being able to invest fund in productive activity. So owner of funds give up possibility of earning a positive returns on funds. So the concept of positive time preference is supported by majority of the jury. So they agreed that the price for cash sale and credit sale can be varied. So for example, the view of Grand Mufti of Saudi Arabia has permitted the installment sale wherein the credit price could be higher than the cash price. Okay, so tak salah lah. Kalau kedai nak cakap, okay, you pay cash 10 ringgit, you pay credit is 15 ringgit. So 5 ringgit is considered as to pay the opportunity cost. Okay, lost by the shop. Okay. So in Islam, both times and place have impact on time value of money, as we can see from the contract of salam that support the positive time preference. Okay, so the price paid in advance for future delivery of goods is less than the cash, and the carry price, even both are done in future. So example dia, Islamic finance example, profit loss sharing concept of mudarabah transactions, where the capital provider, the Rabumal, has to share of venture profit because he has given up current consumptions or ability to invest funds elsewhere. Has right to share venture profit. Yelah, kalau in mudarabah contract, so the Rabul Mal, the capital provider, have right to share the profit even though the business or the venture is conducted by the mudarib, by the mudarib, the entrepreneur. So the Rabul Mal have right because they put their money in the first place to become a capital. Okay, and then markup price financings offered by Islamic banks via murabaha contracts. So the markup price tu, kalau murabaha is markup price tu maksudnya profit rate lah. So the cost, the principal cost is 100k, so the markup price is 50k. So the total price will be 150k. So it's okay. 50k is considered as opportunity cost because of the delay, the installment. The delay lah, period of financing. So okay. But if the customer wanted to settle the financings, so the bank tu kena bagi balik lah dia punya markup price tu. So they will give, maksudnya daripada 50k markup price tu, throughout the tenure. So maybe 30k sahaja. Sebab dia punya the tenure of financing is shortened. The customer wanted to settle early the financing. Okay. And then selling goods with installment and price slightly higher than the cash price. So group-based buying and selling transactions like a kutu. Group-based buying and selling transactions yang kutu ni, they collect money. Apa nak relate pada this maxim lah. Tak relate sangat pun. Okay. So that's all. That's all for this maxim. Any questions so far? Any question, class?
Madam, clear insyaAllah.
Clear tak?
Clear, madam.
Clear, madam.
Clear, yeah? So today we discuss two maxims. The first maxim is talk about mutual consent of the contractual parties. So in Islamic contracts, all parties must rida, kan? And consent on the agreement, the contract, and the term, the conditions that's stated in the contract. Okay, that's the first maxim. And second maxim, we talk about the deferments constitute a part of the price. So Islam's respect the changes of value of money. So because of that, when we are given a postponement, so the one that give us the postponement have right to claim back. So that is why they put the value of postponement to into the price. So nowadays the Islamic banks, they practice profit rate kan. They consider is profit rate tu lah. Okay, because actually the banks they give macam the customer right or credit, okay, on the financing that given to them. So that is why the banks have right to claims the profits on the principles of the financing that they are given to the customer. Okay, provided that is not too excessive, and when the customer fail to pay the installment, the bank cannot charge compounding penalty. Okay, so in Islamic contract, basically the bank can charge penalty or compensations on the late installment payment by the customer, but the calculations of penalty cannot be compounded. Like conventional banks, kalau customer late 3 days, okay, they calculate, okay, 3 days of late is 500 ringgit. So another 3 days. So for us, basically dia akan guna percentage lah. Not satu figure je macam tu. The percentage is 3%. So 3% over what? Okay, 3% over, basically 3% over the principal plus interest. Berapa banyak lah tu. Lepas tu late lagi. So 3% over principal plus interest plus late yang the previous late tu. Compound lagi. So over lagi. Tapi kalau Islamic banks, okay, they can only charge not more than 1%. 1% je. Kalau conventional banks, any percentage, it depends on them. 3%, 3.5%, 4%, they can charge the late payment penalty. But Islamic banks, bank negara allow them to only charge not more than 1%, and it cannot be compounded. Just 1% over principal saja. Okay, 1% over principal. Kalau ini over principal je. Okay, it cannot be compounded. And then the rate of they call compensation lah, they do not call as penalty. Okay, compensation, to compensate. Because if the customer late in paying the installment, the customer, the bank cannot receive money, cannot use the money to do other transactions, investment ke ataupun give financing to other customer. So it's lose to the bank at that time. So they are allowed to charge the compensation to compensate because the customer failed to pay the installment. Okay, but the rate cannot be higher than 1%. That's the maximum rate that they can charge, even though they are losing more than 1%. Okay, that is the rules that fixed by central bank that the Islamic bank have to follow. Okay. Okay, so another thing is when they made it as compensation, they can take it as a profit to the bank. Okay, two options for the banks, compensation ataupun penalty. Kalau penalty, the payment of penalty tu, they cannot make it as their profit. They have to channel it to the charity body. Okay, but if they consider it as compensations to whatever loss that they happen, okay, they have, so they can make it the compensation payment as a part of their profit. Okay, that's for the Islamic bank. Okay, so detail on the how the bank calculate the gharamah and ta'wid. We call compensation, we call it as ta'wid. Okay, the penalty we call it gharamah. So how the banks have to calculate ta'wid and gharamah, you can go to the Bank Negara website. Okay, find the concept paper on ta'wid and gharamah lah. Okay, any question? Any question? No question. Clear with the maxim? Okay, so no questions. We end our class today with Surah Al-As and Tasbih Kifarah. Okay, thank you class. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, madam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, madam.
Salam. Thank you, madam.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam. Welcome.